from Charlotte, North Carolina, at a combined weight of over 660 pounds, Roddy Rob, Adam Bomb, Bionic Brian, the Marked Out Wrestling Podcast.
Hello and welcome to another edition of Marked Out Wrestling Podcast. This is our Wednesday edition, and we're going to be breaking down Dynamite and reacting to it. We will also recap what happened on Tuesday night on WWE for NXT. Joining me tonight, as usual on Wednesdays, is Brian. What's going on, buddy?
Hello. How are you, Mr. Adam Bomb?
I'm good. I mean, we started 10 minutes late because your computer has too much porn to sift through to, get updates.
Mm-hmm.
But otherwise, I think we're good.
That's not you. You make it sound like that's my fault. That's not my fault.
Whose fault is it? The hubs?
No, I would have to say that's probably Christopher Steichleather's fault. He says, "Hello, everybody. Let's get it on." That's right, Steich.
So we've got basically 6 chapters, if you will, to talk about AEW in tonight, and then we're gonna recap NXT. I don't know why, but the dad jokes in me tonight were just flowing around in my head because we have 2 pages and 2 cages on AEW's Dynamite, and I just can't help but laugh about that. Yeah, you think that?
There you go. There's the real one.
All right, fine. So, I mean, without further ado, let's break it down. The YouTube live chat board, we will be checking in on them throughout the episode. Right now, Hall of Famer Christopher Steichleather and Daniel Price are holding it down. They said it's Greg's.
It's definitely Greg's fault. Although Greg was also able to help us, so it's also the hero.
Yeah, it's like the guy who he switches the chords backwards, and as you're like struggling to figure it out, he comes to save the day, and he's like, "Look, you just have to switch these chords," and you're like, well, "Why did?" You're the one who fucked it up. You can't be the hero too. It just doesn't work like that.
Yeah. Oh, I hear a studio cat in the background. That sounds like a bigger cat.
Yeah, there's a studio cat. I think he's hacking on a hairball over there.
Okay.
I wanted to start off tonight with chapter number 1 here being, and these are not in chronological order in case you're paying attention at home. I wanted to start with Moxley and Kingston here. Arguably, 2 guys who could very easily stand on their own as singles competitors. Brian, would you agree?
I mean, Moxley definitely over Kingston, but yeah.
But I mean,
absolutely.
they both cut good promos. They're both good work. I mean, between the ropes workers, they've got not necessarily like quantifiable charisma, but they've got a character, and they kind of play along with it. And there were a lot of little Easter eggs that were said under the cuff tonight by Kingston, to Moxley throughout that little exchange. But we basically see a shots fired in terms of the damage approach. This feels like, something that Austin would do, against a faction if he was taking on the Authority. He's going to go and knock over their trailer. But this is both Moxley and Kingston doing it. How did you feel about the segment?
I mean, I don't hate it. The team itself is growing on me because, like you said, I mean, they definitely are. This feels very Frankenstein, even though they do have a history together. I feel like it is still kind of Frankenstein.
And it's real petty of me to say this, Brian, but I feel like if this was 5 years down the road and they were doing this as like, okay, these guys have done a lot in the singles division, we want to do something like this with them. Okay, go for it.
Right.
I feel like it feels too early for, especially the guy who was just champ, to be basically relegated to a tag team.
Agreed. But I guess, I mean, it makes sense because isn't everybody, aren't we all kind of expecting him to kind of take a step back once him and Renee have the baby?
True.
Right.
But
maybe that's what they're planning.
But isn't it also true that all the people who have criticized for years WWE about a former champ like going down immediately to the US or IC belt level contendership, and now here's AEW. I hope the fans aren't blind to some of this. I'm not saying I dislike whenever I point these things out that I dislike AEW or Dynamite or anything like that, but I see a lot on Twitter, Brian, where people will crucify WWE for doing this exact same thing, and then they'll praise AEW for it. Just feels weird.
Yeah, that's true. Although but
double
again, I got to
standard-ish.
say, I didn't hate this segment necessarily. I'm not in love with the pairing of the two still, but it wasn't bad.
I mean, Kingston's the one who I think is the one who shines a little bit more on this. Just quite frankly, when it's the two of them, I think he outshines Moxley, overshadows him. Something like he's just better in character. Maybe it's because that really is who Kingston is, so he doesn't have to play it up. Where Mox is kind of acting. I don't know.
Right.
That's just a speculation. Number 2, all you.
All right, so let's talk about tonight. We had the Pinnacle and Inner Circle. Well, mostly I want to talk about the Inner Circle and the promo that they had, and still the fact that I just don't know if I completely buy.
It was past the mic style, basically.
Well, yeah, but overall, I was just about to say I don't really know if I buy the Inner Circle as a babyface team. But I will say this was a fun segment. It was cool seeing Jericho. Jericho sang a show tune. He said that he wiped his ass with MJF's scarf. Ultimately, I mean, the whole thing was really just to kind of pump up Blood and Guts. And then they were also saying that next week it's going to be the Inner Circle and Pinnacle parlay. Whatever that means. I'm not sure. I'm not quite sure what that means.
And okay, here's what it means.
I guess it's gonna be like the pre.
Here's what it means. Okay, Daniel Price has it right here on the board as he says, "Oh yeah, Adam, I see it all the time. Things that people would pan WWE for, AEW gets great praise." So I think this is the parlay. I don't know if you know what it means in real life, but this is like a pirate thing for having a whatever truce. I don't know, but exchange of how we're going to surrender or exchange goods
really?
or whatever. Yeah.
I thought a parlay. Wait, okay. How come in gambling, when you parlay something, it means to like?
It's a pirate term. Is where it originates. Don't quote me on it.
Okay.
It means to the two leaders meet. So MJF and what? But anyway, we've had a debate. We've had a parlay. We've had contract signings. I think this is just another way, Brian, of doing that. They're trying to get away from, because WWE calls it a contract signing.
Right.
They're coming up with synonyms or other ways to say the exact same thing. And that way AEW fans will go, "Oh, look at this. They did a parlay." Sure. Now, by the way, I loved when MJF did the debate. And
it was good.
The campaign and stuff like that. So I'm not shitting on their ideas to try and attempt originality here, but this one, I don't know. I'm pre-guessing that it's going to be just an overhyped contract signing, with 8 extra people, as Daniel Price says.
Right. I'm thinking though. I mean, since it seems like the Inner Circle kind of had the upper hand on this one, maybe the Pinnacle next week will be the ones that kind of look a little bit stronger.
Pinnacle
did
cool
have
a new scarf debut, Brian. You forgot to cover that.
No, I know that, but I'm saying, I know that's the one that Jericho wiped his ass with or whatever. But now you just threw me off. Now I feel like Rob.
How did I throw you off? You said Pinnacle's going to stand tall next week.
Yes, Pinnacle's going to stand tall next week. And he also said it's going to be a lesson of violence. So I don't know. I mean, I am excited to see what comes of Blood and Guts, because we've never really seen it before. Did you
see the graphic for the parlay?
No, I missed that.
Okay, so it basically looked, in my opinion, it looked like a combination of the, if you remember the 6-man Armageddon Hell in a Cell from, I don't know, like however long ago, 2003 or some shit, or 04. If you remember that one, how big and tall that was, because they threw Rikishi off of it into the truck, blah, blah, blah.
Into the fucking hay truck or whatever.
Okay, this is the same thing, but over 2 rings, so that it's not like so much lower and war game-ish from the past, or open It's hard to tell if it had a roof on it, but if you've got your computer in front of you, Google that image, the parlay image, and it looks like it basically looks like a taller version of a War Games cage. That's all. But it resembles to me just the look of it like a Hell in a Cell, the way the scaffolding is in the corners and stuff like that.
Sure.
Oh, Stykes is
on the
2000.
board. Okay, Stike. He's also saying actually that the parlay. He says it's going to turn into another brawl, which that's another thing too that we've been saying for a while. Well, you guys have been saying for a while, but even I'm now to the point where there are a lot of brawls in AEW.
Check the tape, Brian. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 matches tonight. No, sorry, 6 matches tonight. 1, 2, 3, 4. I gotta be honest. I fast forwarded through Billy Gunn and QT Marshall.
That's okay.
But 5 out of 5 other matches, somebody came out at the end. There was an attack at the end. There was a save at the end. It didn't necessarily go to a full brawl, but there was something or somebody that came out. There was, I don't know about you, but I think this is a bad trend because shouldn't, and you're more into the wrestling business side of things than I'll ever be, but shouldn't there be some times at least where people get to celebrate?
Yeah, of course.
I mean, nobody gets to celebrate their victories anymore.
I don't know. Maybe that's just a new AEW thing that they're trying to put into the world, but I don't know, man. There are a lot of brawls. I will say, that's all.
Yeah. All but one. Daniel Price says you.
Yeah.
So didn't have the run in tonight. And what about Tyson
Rob would hate
here?
it.
I'm still of the same side that Tyson is doing the DX thing. I think Tyson is swerving. He's really part of the Pinnacle, and he's going to be the catalyst that causes the Inner Circle to lose. You agree or disagree?
That it's the same exact thing. Like, you know how Jericho is so critical and always makes fun of WWE booking and all that? Like, I feel like it would be silly for him to just totally do the same exact thing.
No, I think
that would be going against everything that he's been saying.
I think the opposite. I think in his mind, I agree with you, by the way. I think in his mind, though, his motivation here is he's like, I could have done it better than Hunter. I'll show him.
True. True.
That's where I think he's trying to go. He's trying to maybe also recreate like a DX Nation level of faction versus faction feud. But if Mox and Kingston get anybody else to join their cause, they're going to be in a faction versus faction feud with the Elite. They kind of already are at least a duo against the Elite. So there's multi-factions going on here. The roster has 99 people. I guess they've got to find ways to get them all on TV, right?
Hey, that 99, I haven't fact-checked it. It did look right. It did look right to me. So 99 people for one show.
It was a reputable source. I didn't bother to do the count myself. But yeah, and I've got to say a lot of this stuff now, at least from Dark Elevation, if not Dark Brian, is spilling over into Dynamite without the proper level of, like, hate to say it, but production, like video recaps. I have long been, check the tape, against all the fucking recaps that WWE does, but not of the shit from previous weeks. I hate when there's something that happens,
sure,
and then they go to commercial break, and they fucking come back and like, oh, in case you just missed it, and then they'll show it again to you in an hour. I hate that shit. But if you're showing previous weeks, or if you're showing me on Raw what happened on SmackDown, or on SmackDown what happened on Raw, that's fine. I think they need to do that if they're going to try to push Elevation and the YouTube channel and all that. They need to sell me their stories if they want to put them on both shows, because Dark Elevation, at least temporarily, is getting some of the top 99, if you will.
This is kind of random, but DP just had a comment on it, and I just wanted to address it. He said, Taz on commentary putting over the guy his faction members facing. Really? And, I mean, yeah, of course you want to put over the other guy that you're facing because you want to make him seem stronger than they either actually are or... Because, I mean, if you just say he's a piece of shit and then you beat him, then what's the point? Like, it's not that big of a deal. But Taz is pumping him up to make him seem like it's a bigger deal.
That's true, and let's go right into it because that's chapter number 3. Is the Hobbs and Christian and the Starks and Page matches? I'm putting them together because it's all fucking Team Taz.
Sure.
I wonder, Brian, if Brian Cage is. Well, I don't wonder this. It seems like he's going to be the first. They kind of teased it already to leave Team Taz. Yep. What if he's just replaced by Christian?
No. I don't think Christian's going to join.
No, but I'm saying like Christian inherits the faction and Taz is like, we don't want you to join. You're in charge.
Oh, so what? And then Taz leaves?
No.
Or Taz stays?
No, Taz would be like Heyman is to Roman.
But it's still Team Taz, though. Would they still be called Team Taz, or they would
change their name?
Okay,
I don't know. They changed their name. We got Pinnacle already used. We got Top Flight. We got Acclaim.
Callaway.
We got to find some other, high level adjective. We'll call them the Apex. How about that?
The Apex. Well, that reminds me of Apex Predator. And who's that? Randy, right?
Yeah. What does that matter?
I don't know. Or what about the Cage Crew? I don't know.
Anyway,
that's stupid.
Let's see. We got Hangman beating Starks, and people come out to attack. Team Taz comes out to attack, and Dark Order makes a save after. Christian Cage beats Hobbs. Starks comes out after. This is the theme tonight, Brian. I mean, can you defend the quantity 5 of 6 matches that somebody has to come in after?
No, I can't. And honestly, I mean, I'm surprised that that's not something it would have seen before, like when they're laying out the show. Make sure that people don't have the same finish and just kind of go over stuff like that. And to have and I know each match wasn't exactly the same with like everyone coming out. But ultimately, it still ended in a big brawl, and that is very similar. Or like I said, there is kind of some fucking shady business or fuckery going on in matches. That is a lot for one show. That is a lot. That I can totally agree on.
I feel like this is because of the 99. They've got to get these people on TV. That's what I feel this is all about. This is just a poor way of doing it, but that's what this is about. They are like, well, what are you going to do? You're going to go out and make the save so we can get you on TV. Dark Order, there's fucking 9 of you. Just run out. That's why we're a faction, so that we can just randomly run out for no reason.
No, well, no, I don't know about that.
Just to get on TV?
Nah, I don't. They're not doing it. I don't know why they're having all the factions out there. I mean, that was one of the things that I don't know if we necessarily praised them early on. Maybe we did. How they wouldn't have, or maybe no, that was NXT. Where they wouldn't have every single person on each week. It would be like maybe you see them this week, and then they're off TV a week, and then you see them the week after.
But what was Ricky Stark's new name tonight?
His new name. Oh boy.
They're turning into TNA in terms of giving everybody a name.
His new name. I don't remember him having a new name. Absolute?
Absolute. That's it. The Absolute Ricky Starks.
Oh, that's not his new name. He's always been Absolute Ricky Starks.
Oh, he has?
Yeah, man. Come on.
Okay.
Open your eyes,
I didn't
bro.
know. I don't follow the bingo halls.
Bingo.
That's not Bingo Hall.
Well, he went by Absolute in what company?
AEW.
Okay, there you go.
Bingo.
No, and NWA.
Ringo.
Oh my God, that's not fucking Bringo Hall. Bringo Hall.
I got you. I got you saying the wrong thing. All right. Fuck it. What's up, Tony? Tony's on the board. Says
Hey,
just saw
Tony.
Booker T's
What'd he say?
Reality of Wrestling Trainer Center. Few people just dropped. Not easy to become pro. What's up, guys?
Oh shit.
So yeah, it must
Yeah,
be.
it's tough.
It is. It's probably like a better version of Tough Enough, where if you don't make
Right.
it, you don't make it. It's like any
Yeah.
coach. Hey, let's make a bunch of people run till they puke. First two that puke, you're out of here.
True.
It's true. You know what else is true?
Damn true. What?
Oh, I didn't have it queued. What else is true?
Damn it. Number
is-
3.
What?
No, number 4.
No.
No.
Can't find my sound
What's
effects.
queued?
It's not there.
Oh.
I don't know.
Bang bang. Oh, son of a bitch.
All right. So
Oh.
number 4, Brian. Chapter 4 tonight is the
Yes.
ladies.
Yes. We had a AEW Women's Championship match. Hikaru Shida defending against Tai. I wanted to say Tay, but it's Tai. It's Tai Conti. We had a handshake to start the match.
My name.
Say my name, say my name. With there was a mutual respect there, so I like that.
Well, both
Boom.
faces,
They-
right?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. So I like that they established that right off the bat, and they've been pushed. Even though Ty's been, well, I guess Dark Order has been face for a while now. So, and we know she's kind of affiliated with them. So, yeah, she's also face.
She's
But
the
this was a good back and-
temporary 99.
She's basically Anna Jay until Anna Jay gets back. But this was a good back and forth match. Again, I didn't think that there was going to be a title change tonight, but it was good to see Hikaru on TV, because that's another thing that a lot of people have been kind of, not complaining about, but they're like, where the fuck is the champion? Like, why? How come she's not on TV? Why isn't she not defending? So it was good to have her have a good back and forth match. And then afterwards, I like
It's
when
because
Britt
they're
Baker
not
came out.
booked properly, but go on.
Well, yeah, of course. But Britt has been very critical of the rankings, which I know Adam has, so has Rob. I am not critical of them. I appreciate the ratings, but nevertheless, I like that Britt is using them in this story. She comes out, shows the ratings on rankings on the Titantron, and she shows that she is now number 1. And then Sheeta throws her kendo stick at her, and there we have it. So I love that Britt Baker is showing that she
took a long walk off a short pier there, buddy.
Say it again?
I said you took the long walk off a short pier there.
Why? What do you mean? Want to talk about the match?
All you had to do was
talk about what happened
Yeah, all you
afterwards?
had to do was Britt basically said all that ranking stuff was Nishigas. Britt said, "Hey, I'm next." And how do we feel
Almost
about
like she
that?
was Goldberg-esque. How do we feel about it? I'm fucking all for it. She's been proving week after week that she deserves at least a run with the title, right? She hasn't even really sniffed it since.
I hope she wins.
Did she have?
I think
I hope
she
she wins
fought
too.
Nyla Rose or Riho for it once.
Right, I think it was Riho. I want to say.
Yeah.
Well, no, she probably fought both of them. Honestly.
Yeah, I think she fought
But-
both of them. Honestly, he's right.
Yeah.
But I here's my fear. Okay. If and I hope Britt does win, but if Britt wins, that means that Nyla Rose, Riho, and Sheeta have all had very forgettable title runs. That you're just like, was there a standout opponent? No.
Right.
Was there a standout feud?
Not really.
No. Can you remember a signature match that they had while they were champion? No. Only match I can really remember is Britt and Thunder Rosa, and I think that's what's happening here. I think that they're going to replay that for the title by having Britt first get it from Sheeta, and then Thunder Rosa goes, "Do you remember that bloody match everybody's talking about? I'm the one who won that, not you. Give me a title shot."
Then there you go. You have your rematch right there.
And
Boom.
also, guess what else you check off that box for, Brian? I'll remember that feud.
Oh yeah,
I'll remember that title
absolutely.
run for Britt. I'll remember the promo she cut as a heel while she was champion, etc. I can guarantee it. The first 3 champions, I cannot tell you one promo or one anything outside of the ring that made me connect to those characters. Whether it's
Well,
Riho,
I mean,
Shida,
I don't
or
think
Nyla
did
Rose.
did Riho even? I don't even think she really cut any promos, did she?
Exactly. Thank you, Brian. And Shida
I
didn't
mean,
really either. She piggybacked.
she did. Yeah, she did a little bit. She did a
She
little bit.
piggybacked a
But
lot of times. Somebody either
I
interrupted
think,
her or she interrupted somebody else.
yeah, I think it's a no brainer to have Britt go over Sheeta at Double or Nothing.
I think so too. I'll bet you double or nothing on it. And
Or
like I
do you
said,
think
it sets up other stuff. The way things are going with Thunder Rosa, it could come back around. The one thing that I got a moment of absolute praise for AEW here, Brian. Are you ready?
Okay, I
The
would fucking love this. Yes, please.
the one thing that AEW does well a lot of times is when they revisit. I know it's only been 2 years, but when they revisit a feud, there's still something left in the tank because they didn't overdo it like WWE, where you had 4 straight months and 4 straight pay-per-views with the same 2 guys going head to head.
Sure.
Like, I'm sorry, the whole Rey Mysterio and Seth last time they were on Raw went way too long, like 7
Yeah, he
months.
took his eye.
I mean, it was just ridiculous. So, what they do a good job of is AEW may make the same guys wrestle from bookend to bookend in a 7-month period, but they'll have a 3, 4, maybe even 5-month gap if it's truly a bookend thing in the middle where they don't really get their hands on each other, and then there's a reason to revisit the feud. There was something that wasn't finished. There's a new twist on a title or a gimmick match. There's something to give it resurgence. Like they're doing
that's
with
another
Best
thing
Friends.
too. Right. God damn it! I just lost what I was. Fuck. Forgot what I was gonna say.
Did you really?
Keeps happening. Yeah, no, I really did. Yeah, I'm gonna read the board now instead though.
All right, do that.
Yeah, DP is just saying Thunder Rosa is infinitely better than Conti will ever be. Yeah, I mean, no, I don't think we're arguing that, but I think Conti's been like vastly improving over the past few months on TV.
She's
so
much better than she
kudos to
looked when
her.
I saw her on WWE programming.
Totally agree.
She was
and
more
he also-
diva than anything else there.
Yeah, and yeah, Stike is just reminding us last time Sheeta and Britt fought, Sheeta broke Britt's nose. Oh.
Another reason to revisit it.
Yeah, that's true. She broke her nose. That's right.
She broke her nose.
Or maybe they should have
she lost. Now she's got the chance.
They should have the what was the dentist match? What was it?
You'll be with Big Swole. No, please don't ever do that again.
Yeah, no. What was it called though? It was the
cinematic office.
Yeah.
Park,
but it had a name. Dentist, like
I don't know why you're obsessing it. It wasn't clever enough for us to remember. Then there's a reason for that.
I know, but now that I forgot it, I need to know what it is. Now that's all I'm going to be thinking about. Dental destruction.
I hate that all the OGs are jobbers in WWE. Edge and Randy are the exception, though. Yeah, but Edge and Randy are supposed to be the exception. Tony wrote that on the board. Tony, Edge has 11 championships, and he was gone for 9 years. And Randy has 14, and he's only been gone when he wants to get remarried or get suspended for pot use. So,
did he? Was it pot?
More than once.
The marijuana? I thought it was PEDs.
No. Well, maybe 2. No. I don't know the official take. I know he got the 30-day suspensions multiple times for the pot. He likes his pot.
Son of a bitch.
Yeah. It is a well-known thing.
Oh, son of a bitch!
I thought it was well-known. Maybe just because you don't know. I don't know. Everybody else knows it.
I don't know.
Ninja, please.
Randy hasn't showed it to me. Randy hasn't smoked in front of me.
Look at Randy's #1 friend on Facebook.
Oh, man. I have no idea what's going on.
It's Howley.
Who? No, it's not.
I don't even know what the number one friend is, Brian. I just made that shit up.
I
Here we go, number 5. Chapter 5 tonight is Jungle Boy
Number
versus
5.
Darby Allin.
Main eventski.
First of all, I just gotta say, I think the Last Supper is lame. What do you think?
What do you mean?
What
do you mean the Last Supper?
There was a quality, and I don't mean to just fast forward to this, but there's a lot to unpack here at the end, and we still got to recap NXT. But Jungle Boy and Darby had a decent match going, and it ends with I thought it was called the Last Supper. Yeah, his
the little
weird roll up. Basically, they have him do a fall from the top rope and a roll up, and they call those finishers.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That's his signature. Orange Cassidy has another thing too. It's it's another type of roll up. I forget what he called it. The squeeze, the orange squeeze, something like that.
Daniel Price
says
new
thing that
he's fact checking for us tonight. He said Randy's had 4 suspensions, 3 for steroids and 1 for pot. Okay, I knew there was at least 1 for pot.
Yeah, see?
He said one was removed for favoritism.
Roids. Steroids. Roadhouse.
Good one, Brian. At least we laughed on that one, Roidhouse. So
tooth and nail.
Lots to unpack here. But at the end, Jungle Boy comes up short. Now, here's a big swing and a miss, and I want to paint this picture for you, Brian. Regardless of how this ended, which I didn't like that Last Supper. I didn't like the ending there because I don't think it was enough to take down a standing and seemingly completely fine Jungle Boy to a 3 count. If it's a false finish, cool. Do it as much as you want. But why not, if you really want to push or protect or whatever Jungle Boy here, because Jungle Boy, this is his 2nd or 3rd attempt at the TNA Championship. Why not have TV time expire?
You know, I'm surprised they haven't really. Have they even done that yet?
Yeah, they've done it.
Are you sure?
Absolutely. It was Darby. It was Darby and Cody.
All right, so they've done it once in their whole existence.
At least once. So, but what I'm saying
feel
is
like
they could have done this here, but instead they want to set up all sorts of other shit. So they have Scorpio and Ethan Page come out to attack Darby after the match, which sends Archer, of all people, to make the save, who apparently is a face now. He's got to go make the save so that Sting joins him, because Sting and Archer are going to be a tag team, because that's what we do with single stars on AEW. And they're gonna what? They're gonna have a feud with Scorpio Sky and Ethan Page, 2 other guys who should be in the tag, or who shouldn't be anything but single stars. Like this, and this is how they went off air, is with all of this.
Yeah, I was just thinking this is the main fucking shit. Man. So wait, you think it's gonna be Sting and Archer?
Yeah, I think
and not
Sting
and Darby.
No, well, not yet. Or unless, fuck it, let's do a trios match, Brian. We'll have Sting, Darby, and Archer taking on Scorpio, Ethan Page, and a prospect to be named later. I don't know.
Yeah, who's the third?
Whoever the next contender is to lose to Darby Allin clean. That's the other thing.
Eddie Kingston?
His believability that he's beating all these guys clean, Brian.
Yeah, so what? Dude, he's a grinder, right? He's punk rock. He's not the biggest guy.
He might be on Grinder.
Done. He's not. I don't think he's on Grinder. I don't think he's dating what's her nuts anymore.
You would know.
Well, you know.
So
you would know.
I tell you, I'm scared every time Darby does a coffin drop. I'm afraid he's going to end up paralyzed someday. That's from Stike. Yeah, well, he's just going to keep getting higher and higher. No pun
Keep getting
intended.
higher and higher.
So here we go.
So what? So
That was number 5. I don't think
Number
we need to
5.
talk about it too much. Darby's still champ for however long.
Yeah.
What's the extra stuff we missed? Chapter 6.
I mean, we can talk about the Miro stuff. We kind of talked about.
I do want to talk for a second about him. He said he wants gold. He's moving away. He's served his time in the Frankenstein
he
tag
division.
division.
It last week also. Yeah, no more. But he says that he hates the kip business, and he needs vindication. Much like the Dashboard Confessional song, "Vindicated." That went with the Spider-Man movie that came out in the early 2000s. But anyway,
so does this make
he will not
him
be kept
face?
from his destiny. No. Miro? No. I don't think he's a face. I think he's still going to go. Say it again?
By attacking Kip, at least verbally here?
No. I don't think. I think that Miro is still just going to be like that monster heel.
Okay. I was curious.
What about you?
I don't know. I thought, I think that the one thing AEW does poorly consistently is whenever they do a flip, number one, they're 2 years in. Any flip is not huge. And number two, it's usually like with Archer. You just flipped him so for this one storyline with Sting and stuff. Okay, cool. That's awesome. Scorpio Sky, Ethan Page, Sting, Archer, all single stars. Let's make them tag teams for no reason. And that's the other thing. These are beyond unnatural tag teams, Brian. This isn't like Billy and Chuck.
Why do you say that?
Okay, because I think Billy and Chuck was a good example. Billy and Chuck were two guys in the tag division whose partners weren't around anymore. They were lifers in tag team. They both had Cup of Coffee as a single star. That's for you, Hitman. But they didn't get over, and they were destined to go back to the tag division. And Billy and Chuck, I thought, was a successful team. I don't know how long it was, year and a half, maybe 2 years.
Yeah, something like that. 2 years maybe total.
I thought it was pretty decent, and it was no outlaws. Or what was Palumbo? O'Hare. Sean O'Hare?
Yeah, Chuck Palumbo and Sean O'Hare.
Yeah, so it wasn't their natural tag teams that they came from, but it was still, it was a decent thing, but that's where they belonged. Scorpio Sky was never, he was the single star of SCU. That's what he was. And when Daniels got hurt, that's why he was thrust in the tag division. He finally gets out, and here he is fucking back in the tag division. Karate Man just got signed, and he's fucking Franken-tagged right away. Like, man.
Yeah, it is weird. Although I gotta say, the biggest, like the strangest thing so far is still Lance Archer. Like, he just seems to keep running out into random feuds and then just being there kinda, and then they use him a little bit, and then he just disappears. Like,
and then he whines about it, and Sting agrees with him, and now they're a team.
Yeah.
And like, what? You guys are gonna go after the Bucks next? Come on. There were two other matches that were on the card tonight. You want to talk about them for a second?
Briefly. Some of the highlights of the Penta and Trent match, which that was a fucking awesome match, by the way. But what I really enjoyed was Alex. How do you say his last name? Abrahaminich. I don't even know how to say it.
Not gonna work.
But his
here
translator. Yeah, his translator I don't know. It just adds he's got it such a way, and just like his delivery with his words. I love what they're. But again, I don't know what's going on with Death Triangle. Are they heels? Are they faces? They seem to flip flop a lot. But tonight it seemed like they were obviously the heels.
I think the
Penta
freedom that they give some of their workers causes this problem.
Say it again.
I think the freedom
What'd you say?
that they give some of their workers causes them problems. I think the fact that
Maybe.
Pac is, going this way and that way and has to quarantine 2 weeks on each side, so he can't always be, or 10 days, whatever in his travel schedule.
Yeah, I don't know.
So they're starting a feud without him, so that they're going like, oh, we're gonna do this first. I don't know.
Yeah.
This to me feels like we don't know what to do with these guys yet. They fought last year around this time. Let's just do it again. It feels lazy. It feels lazy overall. What else is going on? Is there like a fake Wolfpack thing going on?
Well, there was Billy Gunn versus QT Marshall, which
see what I did there?
We have the Gun Club and the Factory coming out during this. We get a brawl to the back. QT hits a pile driver on Gunn. We also have Anthony Ogogo coming out there.
I just like
a lot going
name.
on. Say it again.
I just like saying that name, Anthony Ogogo.
Well, they have a lot of O's in that whole faction. They have Anthony Ogogo, Camarado, Eric Solo.
How's that?
Yeah, I think that's a lot of O's.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. They're going to be on Dark soon. So
yeah.
Again, this 99 people, they're already booked in a 6-man tag match. One of the teams has a fourth to come to ringside with them. So there's 7 guys that'll booked in a match next week. This is just Dark Order's going to run out with Hangman's match. And he's fighting Brian Cage. So there's Team Taz again. So we got fucking 13 guys out there. So that's 13 in that one. In the 6-man tag, we got 7. So we got 20 guys in 2 matches next week. So we're good. The parlay will have 6 and 5. Oh no, 6 and 6. Yeah. So that's 12. So we're up to 3 segments for next week that are going to feature 32 guys. Tyson, I don't think counts as one of the 99, so I'm going to drop that back to 31. I
Why?
Hope
He's an ancillary
track
member.
Of your abacus count right now.
Abacus.
Yeah.
I gotta say though,
move those beads.
Spin Zone. even though like the whole Factory thing and the QT Marshall, like we're kind of talking about it as it's an afterthought a little bit on the show. I do like the fact that they're giving everybody something to do, right? Isn't that something that we always complain about? That granted, they're giving factions something to do, but still, they're giving stories for everybody. So at least and trying to develop personalities.
Not, though. They're not. They're
sort of
giving a story for, let's say me, the Jew that leads the crew, and then you're like sitting on a podcast going, well, Brian and Rob are, they're featured. They stand outside the ring while Adam wrestles. Come on, man.
I'm not really sure what your point is.
You really?
Oh, I know. I do.
You said they're finding jobs for everybody. Yeah. You guys get to hold my jock and my cape while I wrestle.
No, I said I checked the tape. I think I said stories. They have stories for everybody.
No. Your story in this, no, because your story in this scenario is, hey, we get to ride Adam's coattails. That's not a story for you. That's a story for me, and I got 2 lackeys because they believe in me. That's not.
Is that what you think?
Yeah, well, it has nothing to do with you if you're the lackey. Why don't you go ask Doug and Danny Basham how they're doing?
Actually, I think Doug Basham comes up on people you may know on Facebook.
What about the Ely brothers?
I don't know where the Ely brothers are, bro. Yeah. I would love to know. You know who I just became Facebook friends with, and I actually kind of marked out a little bit. Gary Michael Capetta, the ring announcer from WCW.
Wait, is Facebook friends? Like, is that making a comeback? Because I just basically use it to talk to my like high school friends, college friends, or relatives.
I barely use it except for like networking and whatnot, but like it's funny. Like I don't know,
Facebook
they definitely
doesn't work in the bunker.
All of my like people you may know are people like I'm like I definitely don't fucking know that person, but I'd like to.
All right then, Brian.
Anyway,
let's move on and let's discuss NXT. NXT. We're just gonna run it down. The reason I say we're gonna run quickly through NXT is not to shit on it. This was a bit of a reset. You Rob and I have long had an argument about Brooklyn. The takeover from the weekend of SummerSlam was the end of quote-unquote NXT season. It was their WrestleMania. I think somewhere along the way in the COVID and them going to USA versus the WWE Network, being on TV and stuff, I think that made them basically different. And I think they do reset after Mania here. And tonight felt like a reset episode. They featured a lot of really new talent. They introduced some new feuds, too, for their big belts. We see Kyle O'Reilly doing an Orange Cassidy impersonation, and he says...
Yeah, what in the actual fuck?
Yeah.
What is that?
I don't know. Canadian tuxedo. Maybe he got it at a thrift store. Macklemore's
he's
going
not
to come out with
Canadian.
him. He didn't have to be.
He's not Canadian.
He bought it at a thrift store. Didn't have to be. So he says he wants Karrion Kross. He gets Cameron Grimes instead. Of course, he wins. I don't think Kyle O'Reilly could beat Kross. So I don't know why. Maybe this is just an in the meantime feud for both of them.
Yeah.
Next, we have Taya Valkyrie. What's her new name?
Shit.
Anyway, doesn't matter.
Remy.
Frankie Monet. Frankie Monet.
Frankie Monet.
Okay.
Monet.
We see her backstage with Io. Basically, without Raquel really being involved, they're like, hey, I'm next in line. Well, I want a rematch. It gave the way that Io might be taking some time off, and when she comes back, she'll look at the picture, because I think you reported a dirt sheet that she's going back overseas for a little while.
Did I say that? I don't think I ever said that. Don't put words in my mouth, sir.
I heard it somewhere because I didn't read it.
Rob. Who's Rob? I don't know of Rob.
Anyway, so
I used to know Rob. He's not here on Wednesdays anymore.
Do you agree with Frankie Monet being thrust right to Raquel potentially, or are you good with her potentially having a long battle here with Io? I mean, Io's got nothing. It would solidify her before she goes to Raquel, and I think Raquel's got beef she could play out with Dakota being jealous there. Yeah. So, I mean, there's still stuff to unpack in the women's division.
You definitely don't want to put Frankie right to Raquel, because, I mean, Raquel just got the title. She's still establishing herself. This is her first run with it. You don't want to just feed Frankie and then have Frankie go, lose, and then that sounds like almost whoever loses in AEW, right?
Yeah, whoever loses would hurt both of them. Let Frankie say she wants the gold and then get distracted. I thought it was brilliant what they did with Karrion Kross and Finn. They kept it simple. He's like, yeah, we both had other stuff to deal with, but I knew I was going to come get you soon. Now that we both handled our side business, our side plots, our subplots, whatever you want to call them, let's go take each other on.
Right.
Speaking of that, LA Knight and Loomis trying to get their beef squashed. LA Knight pinned Loomis. LA Knight not undefeated by any means. He's already got 2 losses. But they're doing his character right by getting him wins and featured matches. Grizzled Young Vets beat Breezango. I keep forgetting they're still there. We had Kushida. He did an open challenge for the Cruiserweight Championship. Do you know who he fought? Who answered it, Brian?
Who, Kushida?
Yeah, who answered the Cruiserweight Open Challenge this week?
Who was it? It was Carl Gotch, wasn't it?
No, it's your boy Oney Lorcan.
Oh, Oney Lorcan, that's right. I was close.
Yeah, Imperium takes on Everrise, again rebuilding some divisions, and we have the debut of Sarai. Brian, am I pronouncing it right?
Sarah. I don't know.
Anyway, she takes on Zoe Starks and gets the victory there.
Sarai. Who is that?
I don't know. Elephant in the room.
What?
One point now that we've covered everything, kind of close things out and stuff. I opened last week's show with the discussion about the ratings, and I want to close
Mhm.
this week's with it. I was shocked, just shocked, that AEW was able to pull out a $1.2 million last week.
Well, bro, that's where the big boys play. So I mean, it's kind of expected. You know,
Now,
it's not. I'm not too surprised.
do you think? I'm not discounting that number, Brian, with the statements I'm about to make.
Okay.
Do you think that with the, because tonight was better, but do you think with the horrible episode that was last week, that 1.2, which obviously was partially as a result of NXT not being there, do you think they came back to watch a potentially another turd like last week's episode?
Well, so I think the problem is though is that I feel like this episode was better than last week's. Right? Would you agree?
I would agree that this week's was better than last week, but that's what I'm saying. Like, what if we find out tomorrow that tonight's episode was 900,000? That means,
I think that's where it's going to be.
and that means that you lost your chance to pick up 300,000 consistently from NXT. You got them last week, and you put out they should have put this type of show there.
I totally agree. That's what I was saying last week. I'm surprised they didn't stack the fucking deck and just try to go all out and, no pun intended, and try to fucking get those viewers that are watching, that were the ones that were watching NXT that night or flipping back and forth. That like even just a fraction of them were going to be tuning in. So why wouldn't you try to just stack it? But I don't know, man. I'm definitely not expecting them to go above what they did last week. What about you?
You know the concept of Moneyball, right?
Yeah.
I feel like AEW is
Fucking
trying to
Brad
use
Pitt.
that. They're like, oh, if we get 12 guys in one match, that really makes everybody happy. And you got this. It's like, oh, God.
Do you think they're going to go above what they did last week in ratings?
No. There's no way
I don't either.
there's no way I think they beat it. I would be surprised if they crack 1 million again.
I would be too.
I think
I completely agree.
920 is probably about accurate. NXT had a spike though too last week. They were 800,000. I didn't see what they did yesterday. But this is interesting because the other thing too, NXT had a surge last week. What if they retained the same surge this week?
To be honest,
and
I
they
think
went
will,
with a weaker episode.
Right. Well, and they've had some pretty good shows the past 2 weeks.
They have, but I mean, there's a debut women's match with against a Zoe Stark, who's not a veteran. She's kind of new still. Oni Lorcan answered the open challenge to Kushida. Everrise took on Imperium. Breezango and Grizzled Young Vets. I mean, LA Knight and Loomis is probably the best match on the card, and the women's belt and men's belt were just vignettes or promo kind of things.
Sure.
So yeah, no, I mean this was, this was a tough week for that. Oh, DP says NXT had 841, so they retained their entire audience from the prior week on Tuesday. Actually, a little bit of an uptick, I think, because it was 820 last week, and it's 840 this week. So they got a little bit of an uptick. I'm really interested to see the AEW. I just wanted to close with that, Brian, because now it's not so much a ratings war, which it's more like a true ratings war, because now TNT has to look at it and go, we're getting 1.2 million out of AEW that we're having to pay X for, where one of our sister networks, Cartoon Network, is getting 3 million from a rerun of Family Guy that we paid less in syndication to show than we do for AEW Dynamite. I mean, that is the true ratings battle. Is they want you to have eyes on your network on that time slot, whatever. And if you're not getting there and you're getting beat by a bunch of stuff that's in syndication and reruns, then they're going to rethink about how they sign or whatever. NXT pulled, they were at 806 last week. So they pulled 35,000 more. Stike is correcting on the board. So that I said 20,000 more. It's 35. I really want to see. I don't think AEW put out a good enough show last week to increase that number, but we'll see.
I don't either. I don't either, sadly, but we'll see. Yeah.
Yeah. And DP says, tell the con diehards AEW pulled the rating last week and now they think they're poised to kill Raw. Yeah, I mean, 1 week, I said it. That's great. I said it on Monday. Good for them. They got a 1.2. Can they sustain it? Because, Brian, there's been plenty of spikes in AEW in the 2 years Dynamite has existed. There's been plenty of spikes in their ratings. It's sustainability. Can they keep that up? That's the thing.
Well, that's all about story. I mean, you have to have consistent storytelling and have people coming back. And I mean, even people want to watch the storytelling is kind of all over the place sometimes. So
yeah, I mean, Pinnacle and Inner Circle have 11 members combined, not counting Tully. Still got 11. Not counting Tyson. Still got 11. Why aren't they doing matches leading up to Blood and Guts? Instead of this,
I guess they just don't want them touching.
I want to cut a promo this week against you. I want to cut a promo against you. How many times are we going to make the fucking pineapple Pinnacle joke? Like, seriously? It was funny the first time.
Yeah, why do they say pineapple? That reminds me of Pineapple Pete. Like, there's only one pineapple in AEW. That's Pineapple Pete, bro.
That part's bad. I'm just going to say it. And I think they need to fix some of this stuff. Overall, Dynamite was better this week than last. I'm curious to see what the ratings do. Raw is definitely trash, Tony. Nobody's trying to defend that. It's hard to have a discussion about either company without talking about the other company.
Of course. Well, I mean, also we not that we do like the whataboutisms that Rob says, but no, of course. I mean, you want to compare both shows. That is the trend in wrestling, and you want to see which one is succeeding and which one is flopping. Much like this comment right now.
I feel like, and I hate defending WWE, but WWE is, no matter how bad their booking and storyline, characters, whatever it may be, the level of production that they bring to the table is light years ahead of AEW's production. From vignettes, promos, the way they orchestrate camera work, set design, every aspect, WWE kills them on. So presentation, which is key, is big. And I'm saying that in even their other merch and their apps and their this and their websites and everything they do is better on the production side. Sorry, Tony Khan.
It's still good though. AEW's is good. It's just
it's fine, but it's fanboy word of mouth is a lot of what they get by on. And I mean, this stuff is recorded, Brian. It's not like you can't go back and look and go, "Yo, that did happen." They just have to get better.
Yeah, we did that.
And Dustin even called them out. What was it? A year ago, year and a half, whatever, for quote unquote the working punches.
Right. Well, that guy, he wasn't a full-time roster member, so you can't.
Oh, back then
criticize
he wasn't
too much. Yeah, that was just one of the extra. No, well, not Dustin, but the guy that was throwing those punches. I believe that was Eric Cannon, just wearing a mask. For those in the know,
it looked like one of the Bucks to me.
Looked like shit. Oh, it's that song.
It's time to close it down, Brian. We had fun tonight. We covered both shows.
Yes, this was fun. We talked a lot of wrestling.
We got to talk wrestling without Rob. It's a win for everyone.
Well, I miss my body. Come on, I miss Bobby, but hopefully he'll be back
I
one
thought
day.
You said you missed your body. I'm like, what are you, a floating head now?
I miss my body. No, I miss my Bobby, my Robert, my roadie Robert.
No missing. Oh, Backlash WrestleMania. Is it 2 nights? Tony's asking on the board. No, I hope not. No, I'm not watching 2 nights.
It's WrestleMania Backlash.
Yeah, they're just, it's because it's all WrestleMania rematches, I think, Tony, is why it's named that way. But we will be back
DP's
here.
Comment?
Do what?
Oh, I'm sorry. Did you see DP's comment before you wrap it up?
Wrestling's become a chore to watch if it didn't used to be. Off air, DP, we talk about this all the time. Somebody with a family does not have time for 7 fucking days a week, all these goddamn shows, pay-per-views, all that. I don't even have time to read the Cliff Notes. Okay, Brian, there's so goddamn many of them. So I give 2 hours to Dynamite, I give 3 hours to Raw, and that's only so that because my wife still gives me a hall pass after 5 years to do this show. So that sums it up there. But tune in to the Marked Out Wrestling Podcast Network. You're going to get the All Elite Hour dropping down sometime between now and Monday, and then we'll be back here for Monday with the Marks. So we'll be, I don't know, we talked about what did Rob call it? The pink wedding from all the pink slips.
Pink wedding.
So it'll be interesting what happens between now and then that we'll talk about. Maybe we'll have enough to break out the WrestleMania Backlash card and give it a discussion. If not, maybe we'll just play a fun game. Say fuck it. Yeah. So until then, tune in next time. Same smart time, same smart channel.
I'll catch you on the flea.
Marked Out Podcast is produced and edited by U-Record Studios and is recorded live from Charlotte, North Carolina. Subscribe, follow, and listen to us live following WWE programming on YouTube, Twitch, and Facebook Live. Download the podcast by following us at podbean.com or subscribe on iTunes and Apple Podcasts. While you're there, go ahead and give us an honest and fair review and rating. Finally, if you have enjoyed our product and would like to see us grow, please donate to us by visiting the donation link below our live video, or you can donate via Venmo and Cash App at the handle Ravepro. That's RAVEPRO.
You're listening to the Electronic Media Collective Podcast Network. Yeah, it's a mouthful.